Good evening! It's about 2:30 for me. It's 3 o'clock for me. It's afternoon. Fuck it. So, this is the start of my Unscripted YouTube series where I will be talking about whatever, whenever, because rather than doing it on streams where I get distracted by games, I get distracted by my music, I get distracted, especially by chat, I'd rather do a series on YouTube where I can sit down, talk, and focus on what I'm talking about before I post it. That way I can have an idea, and I can just get my ideas out there. If you watch my friend Zach the Avenger, link in the description, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Zach deserves some more love. He does the Real Talk series on his channel, where he talks about all these very serious topics. And this is going to be very similar to that, in the sense that I'm going to be talking about a specific topic. It'll be freeform, but I'll talk about serious topics. Specific topics, not serious. I'm not getting serious on here. I don't get political. I don't get serious. I don't get emotional on these videos. I refuse. So, I need my Coke. For those of you who used to watch my old channel, No More Turtles, I used to do this a lot on that channel where I would just talk on a video. I would actually do my phone videos, hey, what up YouTube? That kind of shit. But this will be a bit more serious and more focused. So today's topic is twofold. Nostalgia and music. And in terms of nostalgia, people don't seem to remember that nostalgia used to be this diagnosable mental illness for soldiers who would rather be at home than be at war. Like, that's a weird thing to happen. But nostalgia nowadays has a different kind of meaning. Nostalgia nowadays refers to I miss this thing when I was a kid. I used to do this all the time, man. Like, people get nostalgic for, movies and games. Like, personally, I'm nostalgic for Rayman 2 and Toy Story 2 on the N64. Those are my two favorite games, man. On the N64, those are my two favorite games. Oh, excuse me, I had to burp. Got another one. Anyway, also, this will be unedited because I don't feel like editing. And also, if I edit it, then is it really unscripted? Because I'm forcing myself to cut things out and no editing. It's too much work and it's inauthentic. But I also get nostalgic for music. Music it's been a big part of everyone's lives. Everyone loves music. Everyone loves their own kinds of music. And I grew up because my dad would listen to stuff in his garage while working on his motorcycle, on his car, whatever. He would listen to classic rock all the time. So that's what I kind of got into. I mean, as a kid, I did listen to a lot of what's hip at the time, like LMFAO, Katy Perry, Kesha. I would listen to that. But I also had a really strong admiration for bands like AC/DC, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Queen. And nowadays I get people asking me oh, how'd you get into that kind of music? You're too young for that. Dude, it's just music. It's not like I don't got a time machine off to the side anywhere. It's not like I'm gonna go back in time and seeing, if I could though, I would see Queen live 16 times. And then 20 more times just to say I could do it. But at some point I realized with nostalgia that your judgment gets clouded because you think, oh, I used to love this, so why am I not liking it now? Or, I used to love it, therefore now I must love it forever. But what got me on this path was watching the show, the classic Nickelodeon teen sitcom, iCarly. And if you know what iCarly is, you know it's a pretty fun show. It's not a very deep show. It doesn't have a lot of very deep moments. At least in the first season that I just finished watching. but it's still such a fun, genuinely funny show. And there was an episode 20 of season 1, I Stake Out, where that's the one where they have the cops in the apartment trying to catch this guy selling pirated DVDs. That was Curtis. I forgot his name. The guy who plays Metatron in Supernatural and Dan Versus. Where he just started playing guitar, and it was hilarious. And sometimes nostalgia is justified. You feel nostalgic because, hey, this thing's actually really good. Like iCarly. Or people feel nostalgic for the 80s nowadays. Like, that's a big thing. Especially with Ready Player One, the movie coming out. People got really into that. I personally always loved the 80s. Especially after I read Ready Player One, the book. Which my friend still hasn't returned to me! Sorry. Excuse me. I gotta collect my thoughts. People get nostalgic for the 80s, especially with movies. Because a lot of movies that came out in the 80s were just... They were made in a way that made you remember them. Like RoboCop and Terminator. Those were made because those one-liners were made to get into your fucking head. I'll be back. That kind of stuff. And it's interesting. Like I said before, this series is going to be totally unscripted. I do want to start having notes on the side. Also, I will be taking questions when it comes to later videos. I did open a Q&A section in my Discord. I also will take questions in the comments if you would like to leave one. The thing I get nostalgic for the most is games. I recently plugged in my Wii U recently just to play a game. And I put in the game My Sims. Because a friend of mine was playing My Sims Kingdom and I was like, fuck it, I'll play some My Sims. And goddamn, that was a heck of a good time. Even though I know it's not the kind of game I would typically play. It's objectively a very boring game. It's go here, do this, go here, do this, build this. It's very point A to point B structured. But I had so much fun with it because of all the character it had that I remember as a kid. Like, as a kid, I played it all the time. But another game that I love playing is SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. If you watch my live streams, you know I had a bit of a history with that game. But I played that game enough as a kid to where I could beat the first level with the controller upside down. I can't do it anymore because I forgot how to, but I could do that as a kid. And it scared my babysitter. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? And that was fun. The thing about nostalgia is, where did my music go? My music's gone. Oh, sorry, there we go. Hey, music! Haha, it's hip-hop, royalty-free music. Games are a big part of my life. I grew up on games. I grew up playing games. And people always say, like, oh, you gotta go outside more. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. I did go outside as a kid. I went outside. I'd play games with my friends. I would play pretend. I had one friend who I would constantly just go on classic adventures with. Just, little kid brain stuff. Like, your brain was your imagination, which is why I'm a writer. But I spent more time inside playing games. One story I do want to tell from elementary school is, we had this thing, Latchkey. I don't know if that's an international thing or a national thing, but it was a before school and after school kind of thing where if parents need to drop off their kids before work, but it's super early before school, you could go there and the teacher would watch you before school started. And they had a Nintendo 64 plugged into their wall. So that was super fun. We got to play like Mario 64, we got to play Madden 64, 94, fuck it, whatever. The Madden game on the N64, and Yoshi's Island. Not Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's Story. The one with the pop-up book cardboard style. And one day, and this was after I watched some videos online about how to beat Mario 64 and how to do all that. After that, I went into Latchkey the next day, and we had gotten enough stars. I'd gotten enough stars on my own file, because I have my own personal file on there. Like a boss. And I went in there, I got the 70th star, and I was like, okay, time to fight Bowser, let's go. And I blasted through the last level, beat Bowser, and everyone in Latchkey. I was in like 2nd grade when this happened. I was in 2nd grade, and even the 5th graders, 4th graders, everyone above me was like, dude, that's awesome! Way to go! And I felt so proud of that. Just because it was something that I did. And I felt so proud because this is a game I played all the time. I played with friends. I theorized about what was after the second world, the second area in Mario 64. Like, I had a conversation with a friend of mine on a bus. We were talking about what the third Bowser would be like. Because we knew you fought Bowser once, he was pretty easy, bombs, whatever. Second Bowser, lava, he tilts the platform, cool. I was curious about what third Bowser looks like, and my brain went wild. My brain went nostalgic. Not nostalgic. My brain went bonkers. I was like, oh, he's gonna throw exploding pies at you. And that makes no sense to me because Bowser doesn't throw pies. Bowser doesn't pie. But it was something that I was theorizing about. I was so hype about it. Finally beat it. It was like a mystery to me. It was like, oh my god, that's incredible. And lo and behold, I beat Bowser before anyone else in Latchkey. And granted, I did that before I did it on my own console at home. And I was so mind blown by like the final Bowser fight. The music, the ambiance, the colors, everything. Sorry I got off on that tangent. Mario 64 is a great game. But another game that's weirdly nostalgic for me is Sonic Adventure. It's not weird at all. If you watch my Twitch channel, you know I play Sonic Adventure more than anything else. Literally everything I play is Sonic. And as a kid, I probably sunk like 130 hours into the game. Cube. Which is a lot for me because, and that game I got it for one of my birthdays from a buddy of mine that's no longer a friend, he's a dick. Got it alongside The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure, which is a great game. It's a fun, interesting, fun game. I didn't play it as much as I played Sonic. I played Sonic to death. To the point where I would wake up in my basement. So, when I was a kid, I lived in this 2-story house with a basement. And in the basement we had, it wasn't a couch, it was a removed car seat from a car. Not like a baby car seat, like a car, like a back seat of a car. And my dad just put it in the basement, was like, here, use this as a couch. And we had a couch in the basement too. We had a lot of stuff in the basement, but it was weird because we had that car seat, and it was interesting to me personally. But I would wake up on that thing with Sonic Adventure playing in the background. I would probably like put on different music from the game in the sound test and just listen to that shit while I slept. I got to that point. Like, I've had Mario Sunshine. I also broke my copy of Mario Sunshine while I played it as a kid. I had Sonic Adventure, I had 4 Swords Adventure. I didn't have a lot of GameCube games as far as I remember. I had Melee. I had some weird other games. I had like the Mickey Mouse Magic Mirror game. I also had Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. Baller fucking game. Would love to play it again. And I put the most time into Sonic Adventure. Like, oh, okay. So getting off the GameCube tangent for a minute, And yeah, this is a bit of a longer video, I understand that, but also I want to make sure I get all my points across in this video. One thing I used to do when I was playing games as a kid is I had this old video camera, like an 8mm video camera. Not 8mm, it was small. It was a very small one. It might have been 8mm. It was an actual tape recorder. And maybe I'll pull it out one day and go through it. I still have it in the basement. I still have all the tapes. But I would prop my camera up behind me while I was playing like Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and I would make Let's Plays. But not like proper Let's Plays. I would just talk over games. Because as a kid, I watched like Chuck Economy. Like I watched Emil. I love Josh Jepson. He's still a cool dude. I still watch him nowadays. But it's so funny to me because those videos were so dumb. Because I was so bad at games. I'm still bad at games. But you know, it was just one of those things, man. As a kid, you wanted to do this thing. I was like, I want to make YouTube videos. And I just recorded them. I didn't know what a capture device was. I didn't know how to compress a video. I don't know how to do any of that. But I did it anyway. And yeah, next time I do one of these videos, I think I will pull out that camera. It's in the basement, I think. I can go look for it after this video. But that's nostalgia. That's nostalgia. So, I'm going to cut this video off here because it's getting kind of long. I can't tell how long it is because there's no timer on my screen at the moment. But we talked about a lot here. Leave in the comments if you want me to talk about anything else. And give your nostalgic stories. Talk about whatever you want, as long as it's nostalgic and appropriate. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Amy. That was gross. I'm Amy, and I hope y'all had a fun video.